What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we got more new Digimon cards to talk about. I'm a little bit excited. I am absolutely loving making all these Digimon videos, and they are proving by a margin the most popular videos on my channel at the moment. Which goes to show the appetite we've got for the Digimon trading card game, even though it's only been announced for Japan, and it's not even out in Japan for over a month. Now, quick reminder before we get going, if you do want it to get a release outside of Japan, I have made a video about the best things you can do to try and make that happen. There will be a link in the description. But for now, we got a couple promos to talk about, a couple of blue cards to talk about, and shout out to the lovely Jason Snowjacks, who did pop them over on the Facebook group, although that was in turn stolen from Gage Williams on the Instagram page at DigiCardDude. The point is, we've got clear images of the V-Jump promos, so it means that we can have a little bit of a look at what they are and what they do. For those that may have forgotten, V-Jump magazine is a magazine over in Japan, which has actually been instrumental. They revealed the game month before last, and then last month they gave us a bit new information, and in the upcoming issue there are going to be 2 promo cards coming out, which as it stands at the moment I believe are actually exclusive, which is very, very cool, and they're the ones we're looking at now. So starting off, how about a level 4 Guerra Ramon? And it's kind of interesting because we've already seen a Guerra Ramon, so we can actually do like a side-by-side comparison to see which one's better. Well, this one's cheaper. It is a 4 cost rather than a 5 cost that the other one was. That's if you play it normally. It's a 2 cost to evolve, same as the other. And it is a 4,000 power Digimon, same as the previous one. So as it stands at the moment, it's the same except it's 1 cheaper. Remember, when we talk about cost, we are referring to the memory gauge basically being how we work resources in this game. When you play a card, you move the memory gauge towards your opponent. When it passes 0, it's your opponent's turn. So there's a big difference between 4 and 5. It may well be that 4 leaves it on 0 and it's still your turn, you can play 1 more card, whereas 5 pushes it over to your opponent. In this game, 1 memory is going to make a difference. There are going to be plenty of times where if you could have paid 1 less memory, it would still be your turn. And that will be huge. But really, it's going to be the skills that determine this mostly. What does this one do? Well, according to the lovely Jason Snowjacks, it's got 1 inheritable skill, we can see that for a fact. When you are attacking, and this Digimon has Guerra Ramon in its name, you draw 1 card. Now, when we say it's got Guerra Ramon in its name, remember the rules of this game. You can evolve any blue level 4 Digimon into any blue level 5 Digimon, and then into any blue level 6 Digimon. You can evolve same colour, next level. So we've already seen Were Guerra Ramon, which would be the level 5, and we've seen Metal Guerra Ramon, which would be our level 6. So if you evolve up and you keep Guerra Ramon in the name, then every time you attack you draw a card. And although we haven't seen an in-depth summary of the rules generally, let's face it, it's a trading card game. Trading card games always give you benefits from drawing extra cards. Drawing extra cards is good. The problem is, this is really limiting you to a particular kind of deck. This is a brilliant skill when you've just evolved, because you are Guerra Ramon. But it's not a great skill if you want to go up through the levels into other blue Digimon. If you're keeping the Guerra Ramon line going, I love this. But if you don't keep the Guerra Ramon, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologise for anyone I might be annoying right now. Please don't hate me. And please don't stop watching these videos. I'm so happy with Digimon right now. Please don't ruin it. I love you. The point is that if you go into any other blue line, you're going to lose this skill, and that's going to be sad. What did the other Guerra Ramon do? Well, it again had an inheritable skill, and when you attacked, you removed 1 evolution source from the bottom of one of your opponent's level 5 or less Digimon. Now, I did a video looking at the blue card, so I'm not going to do an in-depth analysis of this card now. My point is, these are both actually quite useful skills. My worry about this one is the promo, it is pigeonholing you. If you want to go down the Guerra Ramon route, brilliant, but if you don't, it might be you have to go for the other one. But it's extra draw power and it's cheaper, so just as a beginning, I'm in on this. But there is another one we've got as well. It is Guerra Ramon. And of course, as I've already shown you, we've had one of those as well. So we start off with a 7 cost normally, same as the other one. And it costs you 3 to evolve, same as the other one. And it is a 6,000 power, less than the other one. So here we're actually on the other side. We're paying the same amount, but we're getting less power. Hang on a second. Are we being swindled? No is the short answer. Because you see, you can already see, before I even tell you what they do, this has an inheritable and a non-inheritable skill, whereas the other Guerra Ramon just had an inheritable skill. Remember, in the coloured box at the bottom, those are inheritable skills. You keep them when you evolve. When they're in the main body of the card, where they're over the picture, they are non-inheritable, and when you evolve, you lose them. And not for nothing, right? And we haven't seen that many cards, so I don't think we should get too excited too early. But as it stands at the moment, this is actually the only card we've seen that has both an inheritable and a non-inheritable skill. So that alone makes it a little bit interesting. And I'm going to go to the ridiculous effort of importing this magazine from Japan just for these promos. Fun little fact, you do get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Promo and a Dragon Ball Heroes promo in the same magazine next month. Yu-Gi-Oh! I will be giving away to someone who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! But Dragon Ball Heroes I'm kind of into. Play that on the Switch. Good game. Point is, I kind of want them to be good for that. Although having good exclusive promos is bad in games like, for instance, Dragon Ball Super. So maybe good but not amazing. Anyway, what does it do? Stop stalling, Wossy. What it does is the non-inheritable skill, when you are attacking, limited to once per turn, when this Digimon has Guerra Ramon in its evolution sources, you make it active. And okay, it's a level 5 Digimon, so it's quite full on. You know, it's quite high up the list. And to be fair, you must have evolved it from Guerra Ramon, so you can't just play it as a 7 cost and get it. But you attack and make yourself active. That's ridiculous. We have seen that skill before, to be fair. That is a skill that we actually see on Metal Guerra Ramon. The exact same skill. Once per turn, when you attack, make it active, non-inheritable. Now, think about the implications of this for a second. If you're evolving up through the line, you now have this ridiculous skill, which as far as I'm concerned is one of the best skills we've seen so far, and you have it on both your level 5 and your level 6. So it might be non-inheritable, except if you evolve into Metal Guerra Ramon, you've got that same skill. That's pretty ridiculous. So I'm loving this. And then it's got an inheritable skill. When you have 8 or more cards in hand, this Digimon gains security attack +1. And that is inheritable, so you will keep it as you go up. Now, I like this, but this is going to be really dependent on the game, and I don't know if we have enough information as it stands to really decide how good this skill is. You see, in a game like the Transformers trading card game, you don't have hand sizes of 8 or more. It almost never happens. Whereas in games like the Pokemon trading card game, it's really not that difficult to get a hand size of 8 or more. If you really want it to work, you can. It's going to depend on starting hand size, which has not been confirmed, how many you draw per turn, which we think is 1, but that's not been confirmed, what the draw power is like on other cards, and we've not seen that many other cards. If we end up in a situation where we've got a game that draws us lots of cards, this is going to be nuts. If not, no. Remember, you win the game by knocking out 5 security cards and then attacking to win. So anytime you can attack more security cards, then instead of taking out 1 of 5, 20%, you're now taking out 2 of 5, 40%. That can be pretty ridiculous. This strikes me as a card which could be ridiculous, and also helps to explain why we've dropped it from 7 to 6 power. The fact that you can attack and make yourself active and has security attack +1, because let's put these skills together for a minute. If you evolve from Guerra Ramon and you've got 8 cards in hand, you get security attack +1, and then instead of exhausting yourself and having to wait till next turn, you immediately make yourself active again. That's a little bit silly. That's redonkulous, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely redonkulous. How does it compare to the other Guerra Ramon? Well, that one says, while your opponent has a Digimon with no evolution sources, you get security attack +1. Okay. Now, again, we don't know how often you're going to be able to pull that off. That's going to affect how your opponent plays. And we really don't know the full impact of losing 1,000 power yet. But as it stands, looking at these cards with the limited information we have, I much prefer the promo to the regular one. If you're giving me security attack +1 and I get to make myself active, I'm down. The other one has security attack +1, but it doesn't make itself active when it attacks. And if you give me an extra attack versus an extra 1,000 power, I know where I'm going with that. These promos look fun. They look good. They do not look like throwaway, ordinary garbage promos that you give away in a magazine. They look like good promos. Again, we will have to see the full rules and play with them and all of that before we can make a really good assessment of truly the power of them. But as it stands at the moment, on the face of it, they're looking pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. They're looking pretty good. But I'd like to know what you think, and I'd like to know if you're going to try and import this magazine, or whether you don't think it's going to be worth it. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all of that fun stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.